Welcome to NuttieBuddie Sports. Previewing the Indianapolis Colts.
Keep throwing it out there. Okay, let's go to the Indianapolis Colts. Let's talk about them. We'll preview the Colts. Let me get their record up here. Last year, they finished 9-8, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars to prevent them from getting to the playoffs. Luke really enjoyed that. So let's talk about the big question. Zach, do you have a big question for the Colts?
I don't know if there's one big question. I have a lot of little questions.
Okay, hit me up with a little question. Just one of them.
I guess they're kind of medium questions, maybe. I don't know. Obviously, the biggest move they made, getting Matt Ryan. Does he still have any game left? I don't know how old he is. I'd have to look it up, but he's got to be getting up in age, I would think. I don't know, maybe mid-30s. Obviously, because I was doing some research here, and he had 10 straight years of 4,000 yards and 20 touchdowns minimum. So the guy knows how to play football, and he's done it for a long time. And now you put him in an environment where you got a decent offensive line, you've got a superstar of a running back who is going to get you some passing options, and you got at least 2 or 3 good, if not great, receivers, especially Michael Pittman. I'm super high on him this year.
I like him too, yeah.
So I want to see all these pieces come together, and if the defense can still hold, they were pretty good statistically last year, I'm pretty sure. But you combine those two together, and they don't lose to the Jags at the last week of the season to get eliminated from the playoffs. I think they're a playoff contender.
Yeah, I actually agree. I put Matt Ryan's the biggest question. Can he outplay Carson Wentz? And if he can outplay Carson Wentz, this team is it's a little better, but it's virtually the same team with a couple big additions and, subtractions. But can that move be enough to get them into the playoffs or even winning this division? Luke, do you have a big question for the Colts?
Yes. Can they break the prime Patriots stranglehold that the Jags currently have over them in Jacksonville? Did you know that the Colts haven't won at Jacksonville since 2014? They've lost down at the bank every year starting in 2015 until that's a lot of bad Jags teams that have beaten them every year. Week 2 this year at Jacksonville. We'll get that answer right away. There's the big question, guys. Of course, what could be a bigger question? Because, hey, if you just got knocked out of the playoffs because you couldn't beat them week 18, a 2-win football team destroyed you. It wasn't that it was a close game.
Mm-hmm.
They scored at the end and got a 2-point conversion. It was 26-3 in the fourth quarter. That's a shellacking. You lose at Jacksonville in week 2. That sets a precedent for the rest of the season that you're not good. Just saying. That's the big question.
Okay.
For me, of course.
I like that question. Okay, let's go to favorite moves then. Zach, do you have a favorite move for the Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah, I think my favorite move was getting Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I think they needed a quarterback to really take them to the next level. I feel similarly about Tennessee, but we're not going to get into that yet. But they made some other acquisitions as well that I think are going to help them defensively for sure. But yeah, I like Matt Ryan. I think he's a good quarterback, and I'm interested to see how he will mesh with this offense and their style of play.
Yeah, no, I like that one. I also have boosting defense. I like Stephon Gilmore. They're taking a chance on him. And Unique
Ngakoue.
Yes, I couldn't pronounce his name last year, but thank you. Yeah, him as a pass rusher, I really like that move as well because the 2 rules in the NFL: you got to protect your quarterback, or you got to get to the quarterback. That's like the goal of the offensive defense, and you got a guy who can rush the passer. So I like that they did that. By the way, they were a top 10 defense last year. So adding those 2 guys is only going to add to it to me.
So did they also add DeForest Buckner? I see him as their defensive tackle.
They traded for him last year.
That was last year? Okay,
Yeah,
I thought I saw him on the team last year. That's why I was confused. But
yeah.
He's another good piece of that defense that's going to keep them in the game.
Yeah. What about you, Luke? Do you have anything you like that they did?
Good piece of the defense that couldn't stop Trevor Lawrence in Week 18. Um, also Jonathan Taylor, who couldn't score against the worst defense, one of the worst defenses in the league to make the playoffs. Just saying. While the announcers were like, let's talk up Jonathan Taylor and what's his name? Carson Wentz. Let's talk him up. They're about to make the playoffs. They were just dumbfounded. They didn't know what to say in the second quarter as they're just getting shellacked. They're like, wow, I guess we got to say good things about Marvin Jones.
So that was their favorite offseason move.
There's 3 catches for Marvin Jones over the middle. What do we say now? My favorite move, of course, is that they got Ngakoue. I like that guy. I wanted him to stay in Jacksonville. He couldn't stay healthy. Not in Jacksonville. After he left, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. I think he was in Minnesota. And when he was on the field, he was making a difference, but he's just not on the field. He doesn't. I don't know what the injuries were. I'm not keeping up, I guess, but I really like him. He plays really hard. He does not have a whole repertoire of moves. He does the same swim rip move on the outside consistently. And when he gets it to work, he's the best in the league at it. He's so good at it. So, yeah, I mean, that'll help. Of course, that'll help as long as he can stay healthy. And I like him. So,
yeah, I agree. I like that move. Okay, least favorite offseason move. I'll start here. It wasn't a move they chose to make, but losing Matt Eberflus, their defensive coordinator, he was hired by the Chicago Bears. I think they hired Gus Bradley, which is he plays sort of like the Pete Carroll style defense, but that hasn't. So the defense was top 10 last year, right? And now it sounds like they're going to switch to this different style of defense, which I'm a little nervous about. Like, how do you get a top 10 defense and not try to keep the scheme the same way? So to me, losing him, even though it wasn't their decision, that hurts them, but also maybe not just hiring someone like in-house that would keep the scheme the same. And maybe that had potential to be a defensive coordinator, but we'll see what happens. But that was my least favorite offseason move for the Colts.
Gus Bradley's on the Colts now?
Yeah, he's the defense coordinator there.
Did I tell you I've talked to him in person?
No.
Yeah, because he coached the Jags back a little while back. So after the Thursday night game that they won, and they were only like 2 games back at first at that time, we were all very excited. Jags fans down there.
Was it 1 and 2? Just kidding.
I think it was 5 and 7.
Okay.
I think we were 5 and 7, which I think was 2 games back. I think 7 and 5 was the lead for the division. Okay. I'd have to go look at it. Anyways, so after the game, the players and coaches were all coming out, and all the fans were lining up, and he stopped and talked to. He was really, really, really nice. He was stopping and talking to all the fans, and I said, "Hey, I made the trip down here from Wisconsin. Thank you for making the trip worth it." He's like, "Where at in Wisconsin?" I was like, "Oh boy, tiny little town." I said, "Like an hour, like outside of Appleton, like an hour." And he goes, "No way." And he's like, "Yeah, I was over in Fond du Lac area for a little bit, but then up like towards Stevens Point in Wausau." He's talking to me. He's like, "My first job in the NFL." He's like, "I was a scout in Wisconsin. I was looking for talent anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. That was just my job." He said, "So I was driving around all the high schools and checking all that out." So anyways, I always had a soft spot for him. He was always a really nice guy. Not just like the players all said he was a player's coach. They all really liked playing for him. It's just, it didn't work out. The team was so bad. But he went to you said the Chargers, right? Is where he was. I remember him on the Chargers. And they were good when he was there. He did a good job over there. So I think highly of him. So that kind of was disappointing because I feel like he'll do a good job in Indy. That's too bad.
Yeah, I don't know if he will or won't. It's just the scheme is so different. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you're a top 10 defense, I don't know.
That's my new favorite move, Ryan. I know it's your least. That's my new favorite move. I like him. Okay, I like him. The players will like him, and that's gonna matter.
Okay, Luke, just to contradict me. Zach, do you have a least favorite move for the Colts?
Yeah, not particularly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty out of ideas for this one.
No, that's fine. Okay, let's go to what will make the Colts season a successful season. What do you think, Zach? What will make the Colts season a success?
Apparently winning in Jacksonville. That's apparently going to be their highlight of the season if they can win week 2 at Jacksonville. Apparently, I didn't know that was such a big deal, but thank you, Luke, for bringing that to light for me.
That was probably his.
You stole mine. Dang it.
Oh, even better then. Even better.
No.
I'll give a real answer. I just have playoffs. You were 1 game out of the playoffs. You make a big trade for Matt Ryan. You bring in some good veteran defenders. If you can't make the playoffs, it's not a successful season. So that's got to be their goal. Only thing that will make their season worth it is making the playoffs. Okay. Luke, that was yours too, the Jaguars thing, or do you have a real one? Or
well, no, of course. You're one game out of all you do is win a game to make the playoffs last year at the end of the season. You can't beat a 2-win football team. So of course you have to make the playoffs this year then, or it's a complete failure. Like it's not that hard. That's obvious, right?
Right. Yeah. You can't trade for Matt Ryan and not make the playoffs. That'd be silly. He's 37, by the way. I forgot to mention that. I looked it up. He's pretty old. Okay. Let's see. Over under prediction. The site I found 9.5 wins for the Colts. Let's start with Zach. What do you got over under for the Colts? 9.5.
I hate to say it, but I think they're going to be over. I think they're going to be over. I think they're going to end up with 11. I think they're going to. I have high expectations for this team. More so than my own team. So I'm just that's just me personally. I think they're going to go 11.
That's called a tease. Luke,
I like it, Zach. Under. They're winning 7 games this year.
Oh man, you are so down on the Colts every year.
It's because they never beat us when I see them.
That's fair. You see like the worst of them. That's fair. That's fair.
How does this team have 12 wins?
I'm gonna go over with 2, Zach. I have 10. I think 10-7. I think they're still kind of an average team or above average, maybe not like a good team. But I do it's hard because I really like their roster. I just don't know if Matt Ryan has it in him. We'll see. He could be better. He's got to be better than Wentz. Who knows? Anyway, so I have him at 10 wins. Okay, let's go on to your team, Zach, so you can go to bed. So let's go to the Tennessee Titans. Thanks so much for watching this clip of NuttieBuddie Sports. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you'd like to listen to the rest of the podcast, click on one of the links down below. And if you want to give us your thoughts on any team in any division, let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.